Hey everybody, Monday Motivation. Good afternoon, Monday Motivation Live. I'm live here on YouTube, vertical mode, but not in the car this time. A lot of times I am live driving around, going to the gym, coming back to the gym, going to the tennis club. But, a lot of times all you wonderful people leave great comments, encouraging words, and sometimes I don't get to see them till later when I'm parked and I'm at my location. So today we're going live from the studio here, from the podcast studio. And it's Monday Motivation. I want you to get after it today. I was in the 5 a.m. club today. And, people talk about motivation and say, well, you have to motivate yourself. There's no such thing as motivation or motivating. You cannot motivate another person, which is kind of true. It is self-motivation. But if they're ready, if they got the fire, I can add flame to your fire. I can add to your fire. But you got to have the fire. I know I have the fire, and so other people add to my fire. And it happens all the time. But a movie can do it. A television program can do it. Someone we're following, if we're ready, if we got the fire, they can add fuel to our flame. Absolutely. So, yeah, I guess they're right. Self-motivation is the name of the game. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I like going live in the vertical mode because I know it shows up in the shorts feed. And then I get to connect with people who aren't already subscribed to my channel. And so if you're just dropping by, you just happen to be cruising the internet, right? Cruising the YouTube live channel, stumbling across the Cliff Yates program, the Cliff Yates channel. Listen, you're in the right place. Always personal growth, self-improvement, all good stuff meant to help not just me, but you live every day in every way better than yesterday. No greater way to live than trying to be in a mode of constant and never-ending improvement. Tony Robbins used to call that CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. And so I was thinking really about self-motivation and how, you can't really motivate somebody else. But when you think about it, other people motivate us. We look at their stuff and it gets you fired up. At least it does with me. I remember in the 80s, I was watching a movie. I was already in Los Angeles, right? Had moved from the upstate New York, my little hometown, joined the LA Sheriff's Department. I remember sometime in the mid-80s, I'm watching a movie called The D.I. with Jack Webb, if you remember him from Adam 12. And that movie, it harkens back to the old school drill instructors in the Marine Corps. If you've never seen that movie, I think it's free on YouTube right now. Check out The D.I. with Jack Webb. I saw that movie, and that day, I went to the barber. I didn't shave my head, but I got a buzz cut, just like you would in the Marine Corps, and I ran 6 miles that day. Just seeing that movie fired me up. It got me going. And I was radically motivated, which I still do to this day. I still get radically motivated. Those are the kind of people that I like to hang around. And I like to get around, and that's the kind of energy that I like to put out there, and I like to be around because that kind of energy is contagious. And at 68, I have to tell you, my crowd, my tribe, people my age, a little younger, a little older, a lot of them, not everybody, a lot of them, hey man, losing steam a little bit. No, I can't be there. I can't do that, right? I got my pedal to the metal, everybody. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place. Monday Motivation today. I just want to connect with you the best way we can here on this platform. The best way really to connect with people nowadays is old school. Hey, let's sit down together, face to face, side by side, across the table, cup of coffee, right? The way we used to do it. But you know what? Even today, it's still good to connect with people. Sometimes around the world, family, friends, like FaceTiming. Use technology. It is a way of connecting. You can actually see somebody's face, look into their eyes, even though they're halfway around the world. And that's pretty amazing that we have the opportunity and the technology that we can do that. We can stay in touch and we can connect with people even though we're nowhere near them. Hey, high five back to you. Boom. Glad you're here on the channel. Monday Motivation. I'm radically motivated today, as always. And today I had... the best way to build your character is to make appointments with yourself and keep them, right? That's how you can build your integrity. You know that when you make a promise to yourself, you're going to keep that. And the more you do that, you habituate that, and then you start spreading wider and wider. When you make an appointment with somebody else, you keep that appointment too. And as you widen your area of influence and the people you can affect, and you widen that ring, it just gets more and more and better because you're solid. You say what you're going to do, and you do what you said you were going to do. All right, everybody, thank you. What do I got? I got Richard Phillips. Hey, that's a beach. That's right, brother. I got to put your comment up there. I like your background. Life is a beach. It's a son of a beach sometimes, right? This past year for me, it's been a son of a beach, right? I'm kind of displaced from my beach home now. I'm here in Melbourne, Florida, so I'm 8 miles in from the beach, but only about 50 miles in. But I still love the beach, and I just re-upped on my old gym that reopened under a different name at the beach, Harbor Fitness. So loving it. So, hey, glad you're on board. Hey, love it. Thanks for interacting with the channel. You know I love positive interaction and people who leave comments and new subscribers. If you haven't already, if you're just jumping in here on the Shorts feed, which I know I show up is when I'm live, vertical mode, sometimes I show up in the Shorts feed. And so, hey, subscribe to the channel. It's all good stuff, self-improvement, personal growth. Yeah, I talk a little fast, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's all authentic shit. I have no notes today. I have no teleprompter. So nothing is AI generated. Nothing is fake. It's all the real deal. And if you're like me, that's what we crave nowadays. I want some real shit. So sometimes it's good to see the mistakes, to see behind the curtain, to see when things maybe go a little bit wrong, that we know things aren't overly edited, overly polished. But last night I got into doing something that's been a bad habit, and I nipped it in the bud, not as quickly as I wanted to. I knew what I had laid out for my day today, which, that's the secret. If you want to have a good day and a good week and a good month, you can't wait for that day to decide, okay, what am I doing today? No, it's got to be the night before. If you wait till the day of, you might as well plan for the next day. That day's done. The night before, do two things. I'm telling you, this will make a big difference in how your week goes, your month goes, and how your year is going to go. You, first of all, review the current day. How did I do today? Hey, did I slip up here? Did I slip up there? Do I need to push something forward to tomorrow that I didn't get to today? And how did I do well today? Right? Review the day. One of the great philosophers said, a life unexamined is not worth living, which I think is a great quote. And so review the day. So I've gotten in that habit. I review the day and then plan for tomorrow. If you're like me, when I'm at the dentist or a doctor, and I just went to the skin doctor, got some precancerous spots burned off, and it doesn't look good, but you got to do it. I got to take care of your skin. But when they give me my appointment, I put it in my calendar right now. Don't give me the damn card. I put it in maybe it's going to be 6 months to a year. I put it in. And so when I'm doing my planning the night before, then it pops up. Okay, there it is tomorrow. I know I'm doing dentist 8:05. And so I planned a day with that already on my schedule. So last night I knew I was taking my car in today at 8 a.m. To get some gaskets replaced. But I wanted to get that workout in early. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I've been reading a book over and over again called The 5 a.m. Club with Robin Sharma. Hey, let me know in the comments if you've read that book. Robin Sharma, The 5 a.m. Club. And believe me, I was never a day person. When I was doing my cop job, I hated working the day shift. I was always nighttime. I was always on the midnight shift. I love being up all night. But, now that I've been retired, I've flipped it around, and now I'm trying to maintain the 5 a.m. club. And so I knew today that was going to serve me well. And so I put it on my schedule, and I set my alarm for 5 o'clock. But I know last night, even though I got into bed early, I was scrolling. I was doom scrolling. And next thing you know, an hour had gone by. So my going to bed early, that really didn't do it. And here I was having that screen light for an hour longer than I had planned to do it. But I said to myself, hey, I'm not going to let that derail me tomorrow. If I'm tired, that's my fault. I got to live with it. I made a promise to myself, and it's on my schedule to get up tomorrow at 5 a.m. So I actually woke up 4:54, right? Do I, stay in bed till 5 when the alarm gets off? No, I bounded out of bed. I says, bullshit, I'm getting up. I made an appointment with myself. I'm going to be early to my appointment with me. So I got up 4:54, turned on the coffee, had my water, and then I headed to my beach gym, and I got in there early. 6:30, I was in my beach gym till 7:30, and then I took my car into the 8 o'clock appointment. And so everything went as planned. And I was quoting the other day from somebody. I can't give them credit, and I like to give credit to the people that I learned things from, but I thought it was a great quote. When you get up late, the world affects you. And when you get up early, you affect the world. And I think that's a good philosophy and a good mindset to have. I just 2 days ago, I grew up in upstate New York, near Rochester, New York, and popped up on my Facebook feed this young lady, Karen Stolpen. She passed away suddenly. Her daughters posted on the Facebook page. I was just so sad. She started a gym in the early 80s that I went to, Stolpen's Family Fitness, and she was still in great shape. I saw her picture, and she was a physician assistant and died suddenly, heart attack, and it made me so sad. And but I don't sit in that too long. I try to take those moments and I sit in the sadness and I think about the memories and the talks that her and I had when I would come into her gym, over 35 years ago, 40 years ago. But you know what? Hey, we're still here. And so, listen, we got to live every day. I did a podcast the other day. We don't know how much time we have, right? We can't know that. We know through the hourglass what's already gone through. That's over. That's past. So we don't want to stay too focused on that past. If you focus continuously on the past, you can almost guarantee your future is going to be pretty much the damn same. So there's only this. There's only now. I'm taking those words from a song from the hit show Rent, which that really affected me. But I'm actually going to order. When I did my podcast, I had a picture of the hourglass with the sand going through it. It reminded me of that soap opera, like sands through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives. How important is that? Hey, everybody, thanks for checking in. I'm glad you come across the channel here. Thanks. Positive comments, thumbs up, hearts. Love it all the way around. You're in the right place. And listen, it's all about happily achieving what you can do. You would be surprised. I have more confidence in your abilities and what you can do, what you can accomplish, maybe more than you do yourself. I'm telling you, I see it all the time. I'm thinking, man, that person there, they could do any damn thing they want. And so, hey, hello, Married with Paranormal. You know what? I like the graphics on your thumbnail. I like that. Married with Paranormal. How are you? Hello, good afternoon. Hey, it's Motivation Monday. Can I encourage you today? I want to encourage you today if I can. My pastor at my church said I had the gift of encouragement, which means speaking courage into other people. I enjoy doing it. Maybe because sometimes it comes back to me and I know how that makes me feel. So I said, I want to give this damn gift to other people. I know when people give that gift to me, how it makes me feel, that fires me up. And so, hey, I'm going around doing that today on this live. And also, let's gain some subscribers. I like going live in the vertical mode because it shows up in the shorts feed and I connect with people who aren't already subscribed to my channel. So people, you just pop it in. Glad you're here. Pop it in. That reminds me of a quote. I don't know if any of you follow David Goggins. He's just a crazy bastard. David Goggins, he runs ultra marathons, 150 milers, right? The guy was a Navy SEAL. But before he was a Navy SEAL, if you don't know David Goggins, check him out. He's crazy. He is just crazy. And he's always filming himself, and he'll start yelling at you, stay hard. And he just runs. But he shows pictures of himself on his sites where he was 300 pounds and working for, actually he was a exterminator for restaurants, right? And he wanted to join the Navy and become a Navy SEAL. And I guess he went in there in his heavy mode and they kicked him right out. You can't even apply, pal. You can't even walk down to the next building, get out of here. And he was driven. He was driven. I'm driven. I don't know if you're driven. I am still driven, and I'm glad I'm driven. Sometimes I think, I wish I wasn't so driven. I just like to sit here all day with my feet up and do nothing, eat some bonbons. No, I like being driven. I'm fired up. There's a fire in the belly, and it's not based on anything, not substance. No, maybe coffee, but that was early this morning. No, I'm fired up about life, and I love creating good content. And listen, I as far as numbers go, my numbers are shit on my channel. Believe me, compared to some people. I was watching a guy the other day. He's in his 60s, old guy, fat, out of shape, drones on. But here I was watching some of his videos. He's got like 50, 60,000 followers. I'm thinking, what the hell? I know I'm not as boring as that guy, right? I'm definitely not fat, out of shape, But hey, nothing will stop me. Perseverance beats talent every time. I am telling you, I'm going to keep creating. I love doing it. I like making videos. I like editing them. I like exporting them as MP3s for the podcast platforms. I like researching the content that I plan for my podcast episodes. I like doing all that stuff. And I'm not new to this game. I used to do this stuff when I was 16 years old. I used to take my dad's Super 8 video camera, and I would create these scenes. I had lights. I put lights on a stepladder that were, I had bulbs in them. And then I had my neighbors dress up in suits, and I gave them shotguns, and I would have them come into the house, and I would film, and then I would stop, and then I would set us up, and then I would film them coming in. So I was editing while I was filming because there was no software. We're talking 52 years ago. I'm 16 years old. I'm doing this. And then I would take the film, have it developed 7 to 10 days later, bring it back. Then I have to feed it into the projector and all good stuff. I love doing it. And then I could show, I had a big screen. I was so happy to get a professional screen to show my movies on, right? Silent, no sound. And then, I would show it to family, right? Mom and dad and my neighbors. And now you can turn on a damn camera and broadcast to the world live simultaneously, right? The other day I was connecting with someone, South Africa, Vietnam, around the world. Hey, who's this? Anonymous 13. Listen, Anonymous 13. Hey, it's a matter of timing. That's right. You never know when I'm going to pop up. Just head over to the channel, though, and check out some of my videos, man. I need some watch time. It's just a matter of timing, but you're here now, and that's the most important thing, right? You are here now. That's the most important thing. What do we have? We have now. It's like the song from Rent. There's no past. There is no future. There's only this. Only now. And so that's where we need to be. That's one thing I was learning this past couple months. I've been taking an improv class, right? I'm thinking, what am I going to learn in this improv class? I've done stand-up comedy for 35 years. Right? A cop for 35 years. What am I going to learn in an improv class? I could do improv. But let me tell you something. My first improv class, the teacher was so phenomenal. This guy, and the games you play in an improv class are meant to keep you present in the moment. There's no way that you can time travel back or forward or anticipate or plan that you're going to say something while the other person is talking. The games that you play purposely make it so that you can't automatically have a pre-planned response. You have to think about it. You have to put in the pause between someone interacting with you in your scene and you coming up with an answer. And you've got to trust that process. And then once you do, not only is it fun, but you can trust your response is going to be available to you. When somebody gives you that gift in conversation, you're going to be able to take that, add to it, and give it back to the other person. But a lot of times, out of habit, I still find myself trying to, I got to remember this, so when they stop talking, I'm going to put this in there. But it has improved my presence in conversations when I go out to dinner, have coffee with somebody. I'm able to really not just hear them, but listen to them. Improv taught me, be here right now. Even though I knew that, 30 years ago, I learned that in my personal growth, self-improvement stuff. You know what? Be where you are, right? If you're at work, be at work. If you're at home having dinner with the family, be at home having dinner with the family. Don't be sitting at that kitchen table and your mind is back at work. So be where you're at. And if you can do that, you don't need any damn work-life balance. It'll integrate the way it's supposed to integrate. And it will be natural. And you don't need to have a separation. Everything is your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And I think, watch some of the videos. I need some watch time. You know what? But I do get a lot of watch time on these shorts For some reason, more views come across the shorts feed when I'm live vertical. Vertical mode shows up in the shorts feed. And so I end up connecting with a lot more people, a lot more views, but a lot more people subscribe to the channel because they say, hey, wait a minute, this crazy bastard, I might want to watch some more of his stuff because I need to get fired up, right? And so I was talking earlier about motivation. We really have to self-motivate, right? We can't motivate other people, and other people can't motivate us, not really without our consent. If we're ready, willing, and able, then yes, other people's stuff can fire us up. It can add fuel to our fire, but we got to have the damn fire first. You know, that's for sure. But life is and. I watch a guy, Gary. Oh, God, I forgot his last name. You know who I'm talking about. But he said life is and. He'll do lives, question and answer. And Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And he has hundreds of thousands of viewers. But he talks about, hey, you just be authentic, be yourself. And that's just what we got to do. And I lost my train of thought, but that's what's going to happen. When you're live, you never know what's going to happen. I'm not operating from notes. I don't have a teleprompter. This is all from me to you. And all right. Hey, thanks everybody for checking in. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I like connecting with people who aren't already subscribers. But if you subscribe to the channel, you're going to join a community of progress. That's what I'm all about. I started my journey over 35 years ago. I got myself, nobody else. There's no victims anywhere, right? We're not victims. We're victors. I got myself into a negative space here. And then even in my job, I had negative feedback. I had negative circumstances. But you know what? Those circumstances were a direct reflection of my inside thinking, which I didn't know until I channeled the anger and frustration. I went and got my real estate license while I was still a cop, thinking I will show them. I'm going to get my real estate license, make millions of dollars selling real estate, buying real estate. But then my broker sent me to Jim Rohn as sales training. But you know what? It turned out to be life training. And then from Jim Rohn, I got turned on to Tony Robbins. And then I went to a live Tony Robbins seminar. I walked the hot coals. And then I got hooked because you know what happened? I started changing, and then things started changing for me. Nobody else. I did it. I changed. Things changed for me. So guess what? We are our own worst problem, and we are our best solution. We're both sides of the coin. The exciting part about that is we are in total control of us. So we hold the damn keys, and that's exciting. Once you realize that, you'll never be in victim mode again. You're going to be in victor mode, victorious mode. We overcome. Perseverance is going to beat talent every damn time. And we can be absolutely aggressive in our ambitions, and we can still be kind, right? We can be kind. Don't be timid. Sometimes people confuse kindness with timidity. It's not even a close second. Kindness is different. We can be bold, but not a bully. There's a difference. Some people confuse those two. They start bullying people thinking that's going to show boldness. But listen, people have BS. They have bullshit meters, and they can tell when you're not coming from a place of truth and authenticity. Another reason why I like to go live, because it shows that I'm being authentic. I'm not reading from something. I'm not reading from a book. Not that I don't do that sometimes. Not that I don't have notes. When I'm doing a podcast episode, I try to do my research. I try to have an outline, maybe some notes to, spur on the ideas, some bullet points that I want to hit. So I'm not wasting your time and I'm not wasting my time. And that's important. So I'm glad you stopped by here. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, you are in the right place. Cliff Yates. I was a cop actually for 35 years. Started in upstate New York near Rochester, little rural sheriff's department, Geneseo, New York. And then I just had the fire within me for some reason. At the same time that I wanted to get into stand-up comedy, I was doing it in high school. And after graduation, I went around with the band, right? And I was actually doing comedy. At the same time, all these things started to come together, and I ended up out in Los Angeles joining the LA Sheriff's Department. So I went from 20 deputy sheriffs to the largest sheriff's department in the world, 8,000 to 10,000 deputy sheriffs. Can you imagine that? And just totally different way of life, and I got an education. I got a different perspective. Do you think, in upstate New York, I didn't have too many gang shootings. I didn't find myself in the middle of gun battles and people fighting over cocaine wars, and there weren't AK-47s laying all over the street in Compton. No, it was a different way of life. It was exciting. I loved it. And I loved working not only South Central Los Angeles, I liked working some of the rural areas of San Dimas, California, Diamond Bar, California, and then working West Hollywood and the Sunset Strip, and then working at our substation at the Universal City substation, Hollywood, and everybody I got to meet up there and see. And I was just, at the same time I'm doing stand-up comedy, I'm there for all these premieres. And I actually just posted something on my Facebook page. I actually got to meet Robin Williams at the after party to Patch Adams, which was, what was that, 1992, I believe? If anybody knows when Patch Adams came out with Robin Williams, I got to meet him at the after party because my lieutenant, thank God for Brad Welker, my lieutenant, he talked to the people in at Universal Studios. He goes, you know what, you really need some undercover security. You need some deputy sheriffs in your after party. There's been threats, here at Universal, and, so we need a couple deputy sheriffs in there, undercover. They'll be in plain clothes or suits, so they blend in with the after party crowd, right? Because the actors and actresses there in Hollywood, they really didn't like to see uniforms around. But they wanted you there nearby, and they wanted the protection. But they really didn't want to interact with they didn't want to see you too close by. And so my lieutenant talked the powers that be at Universal to have a couple of us in plain clothes at the after party to Patch Adams, where I got to meet Robin Williams. And at the end of the night, Robin Williams had gone home, but I got to take Robin Williams' publicist to his car. I put him in my sheriff's car, and I drove him out to his car. And just some of the fun things I got to do when I was working for the LA Sheriff's Department. But that's the perspective I bring to this channel. And at the same time, I was working stand-up comedy on my off hours. I was performing at the Comedy Store, right, at the Improv. And then I was, my home club ended up being the Ice House in Pasadena. And then doing corporate police gigs, and then I ended up hiring some headliners to work these shows with me because they had an hour and I didn't. And then I developed these relationships with comedians that they would hire me as their opening act. And so then I was getting paid some good money being an opening act. And I had a pretty flexible schedule in my police job where I could say yes on occasion and agree to do these opening act jobs at some of the biggest clubs and venues around the country. It was pretty exciting. And so this is the perspective that I can kind of bring. Not only getting involved in personal growth, self-improvement, going to Tony Robbins 2 times, but a cop 35 years, rural, then city, and then, stand-up comedy, acting, right, working the Sunset Strip, right, doing background work for a lot of movies and TV shows. Did background work for the Jerry Seinfeld show, Seinfeld. Yeah, I did some background work in the coffee shop. I was seated in the coffee shop, and I got the connection through my acting coach, who was the dialogue coach on Seinfeld. So all exciting, great stuff, everybody. Thanks for checking in here. Glad you're watching and glad you're stopping by the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Always appreciated. Hey, all my stuff is really going to be about how we can get better every day in every way than we were yesterday. That's the kind of stuff that I might not be good at much else, but I'm good at studying and seeing what we can do, how we can think differently that's going to serve us and make us better. Because when we become more, when we get more, when we learn how to be a better communicator, then it not only helps us, but it helps those around us. Family, friends, acquaintances, people we work with, developing relationships. We become better at starting conversations, right, about listening, right? Not just hearing people, but listening, and better connecting, having deeper relationships with other people. And they did a study at Harvard University, and I found this out from Arthur C. Brooks, who's still a professor at Harvard. He has a class on happiness. And they have an 85-year-old study that is still going on today on happiness. And they studied people who now have passed away, their siblings, their brothers, their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, sons and daughters. And in the end, even though money plays a big role in happiness to a certain extent, it really makes a big difference in happiness to a certain amount. And then it kind of stops. It doesn't move the needle too much. What moves the needle to the end of life for a fulfilling, happy life is the quality of our relationships. In the end, that's what they found is the key. And it's not quantity, it's quality. If you have maybe just even a couple deep relationships, that is enough to move the needle and peg it over to happiness and fulfillment at the end of your life. Not that you can't have more, but the focus should not be on quantity, but just on quality. And now I try to do that on a daily basis. You know, you really have to perform maintenance on your relationships on a constant basis. You know, you got to think, hey, I need to connect with this person. I need to just, what I've been doing, which is very impactful, because somebody did it with me, is I make a video note and I send it to the person. Instead of just a text, hey, how you doing? I make a video specifically for them. Hey, Dave, I was just thinking about you. You were on my heart today. Just wanted to give you a hi. Hope things are going great. All right. Talk to you soon. Then I send them that video. I get so many positive comments about sending video notes. But a lot of times we forget that we have that available to us right here on this amazing iPhone that can do so many things. And if we'll just utilize it. All right, everybody. I'm so glad you checked in today. If you haven't already, as I said before, hit that subscribe button because it tells the computer somebody's interacting with the show. There must be some great value here. They'll show it to more people. And you're going to help you and me expand our area of influence because you know what? Having a positive impact on somebody else, no greater joy. All right, I'll see you in the next video for this Monday Motivation. I'm out. All right, bye.